You ever feel like you're being ambushed? You ever feel like you're being ganged up on or trapped with the line of questioning that's being thrown at you, whether it's at work or home? Find out how to answer that so that you never feel trapped again. Get ready. I got a question from a viewer who asked, basically, what do I do? My boss likes to call me into his office with no notice, and usually there's somebody else there, and they attack me. And I feel like I'm being ambushed, and they're asking me real rapid fire questions they think they have the answer to, and they're trying to kind of trap me, and I get tongue-tied and nervous. What should I be doing? Here's what I would say to that. Remember, as a communicator, it is always your right. Always, no matter if it's at work, at home, or wherever. If you do not feel comfortable answering a question, if you don't feel comfortable in the moment, if you suspect as though someone's ganging up on you, or that you are being ambushed, or that somebody is asking you a challenge question. Remember, we talked about those in some of my classes, if you were with me on those. When you're asked things or asked to participate in conversations in which you do not feel comfortable, remember it is always your right to say, I'm going to need some time to think about that to decide how I feel. Or, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable answering that right now. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable engaging with you right now on this subject. I'm not comfortable telling you what went on because I can't recall it at the moment. And it is always okay. In fact, it's very effective to say why. If you feel uncomfortable, tell people that. If someone's making you uncomfortable with their line of questioning, I like to refer to things like congressional hearings, or when I watch a good trial on television. C-SPAN, that's my idea of a good time. And when I see people answer Congress sometimes by saying things such as, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with your line of questioning. It's always our right to say that to people when we are uncomfortable, or even if it's a simple, this makes me nervous. Situations like this make me nervous. You could be specific. When I'm called in here with no notice and there's two people asking me questions like this, I get nervous, and I'm going to need some time to decide how I feel about this, or to think about this and get back to you. I'm going to need some time to mull this over. However you want to say it, it's always okay to do that. I'm not sure if I can answer that right now. I don't know how I feel about that. I cannot recall, and I certainly would not want to give you any incorrect information when it's this important. Obviously, it's important if you and you all called me in here with no notice, all by myself, and asked me these questions one after another. It's important. So I'm going to need some time to think about that, and I'll get back to you as soon as I've had a chance to do that. Don't ever be afraid to say that. Whether it's your partner, if they, hey, I've made a decision on where I want to go for our, big year-end vacation. I've decided blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that? I'm going to need some time to think about that. Oh, come on. Just what is your initial thought? I'm going to need some time to think about that. Remember, the broken record is always such a fantastic tactic that people find so much that people find so much freedom using, and they feel so liberated when they use it. All you have to do is repeat yourself. If I gave you a good answer a moment ago and nothing has changed since then, why would I waste my brain power thinking of another one? Brain cells are finite. If I just gave you a good answer, why would I waste some of them thinking of another one? Again, I'm going to need a few minutes to think about this before I get back to you on that. I'm going to need a few minutes to think about what happened and make sure that I give you the correct answer to your question. And by the way, boss man, if this is happening to you at work, by the way, or boss woman, you might want to refer to the Forbes article on how to call an effective meeting. Or even if it's on Skype or whatever, Zoom, if it's a one-on-one, any meeting that is called, whether it's a one-on-one meeting or if it's a group meeting or you're being investigated or there's a jury or there's a congressional hearing, when you look at effective ones, they all have the same rules. There's an agenda. You're told what you're going to be asked. You're told what you're going to talk about. You're told who's going to be there. They don't invite people there who are not useful or don't serve a purpose. So that when you walk into that meeting, you're prepared to give the answers that they're looking for. And I might suggest that to my boss, in a nice way. I might say, so that this doesn't happen again and I don't waste your time coming in here and I'm unable to answer your questions because sometimes I get tongue-tied when I'm put on the spot like that. If you could, in the future, send me an email telling me when you wanted to have these meetings, even if it's just a few minutes in advance, and what the subject matter would be and who would be there, that would help me prepare for them so that this is the benefit statement, so that I can make sure that when I come into the meeting, I'm prepared with everything that you need, and we don't have to go through this again, or we don't have to do it twice, or you don't have to wait for the information. I think you would find that much more efficient. So do you want me to forward you that article, or do you want me to forward you the little black book of meeting rules, or do you want me to, whatever it is? I'm not saying this for me, I'm saying this for you. It's embarrassing for me when I'm called into a meeting like that and I can't answer your questions, because under normal circumstances, I'm sure you know I could, but situations like that make me nervous. So in the future, if you could let me know before what the meeting would be about and about how long it would be, who's going to be there, and the subject, I could come in prepared so that you can get your answer and only have to hold it once. What do you say about that? Want me to send you the information? Even though it's just a one-on-one meeting or a one-on-two meeting, the same rules apply always. And again, the same rules, it's interesting how when you're talking about communication, whether it's one person, 100 people, it's always the same rules. If you're asking me to go in and tell my version of the story, if you're asking me to go in and explain something, or, you have a big hot issue and you want me to present my idea, presentation skills and the fundamentals of a good presentation will be the same. And if I were talking to my boss, I might say, and I would want to give you the best presentation I possibly can every time, whether it's just you and me or whether it's the entire company listening. I think you deserve that. So what do you say in the future when we have these types of meetings? You give me a little bit of notice. I will come in here not so nervous and prepared with what you need as well. Sound good? Who could say no to that? That is reasonable. And it is always, always reasonable to set your own communication rules and boundaries. And when you feel, for whatever reason, that you're not comfortable answering a question, it doesn't matter who's asking it. If they can tell, if people who work at Facebook can tell Congress, I'm not comfortable answering that, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. I don't like your line of questioning. I'm not comfortable with that line of questioning. I don't appreciate you impugning my integrity with that question. If they can say it, so can you. And it actually elevates your status in everyone's eyes, including your own eyes. So that's my suggestion for you. And I hope that helps. If you have any more questions like that or any others, put them in the questions below. And remember, I'm still doing my flash sale. If you click the link below, I hope it works for you. If it does not, send us an email and we will make sure to get you the flash sale. I'm offering it at half off the already discounted price. So if you enjoy solutions like this and wanted to join me in some upcoming events, make sure to get that. And for everyone here at Dendron Trading, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Kwanzaa, a Happy Makamali, and I hope to see everybody soon. Thank you all. I'm signing off. Goodbye. Oh, hey, speak loving words to people. If you're with people that you love, that's a treat and a blessing. Bless them back by speaking loving words to them, because there's no message that you have to send that you can't send in a loving way. I hope that you love everybody and they love you right back. We all deserve that.